It's Friday. Yes, it's Bordeaux time, and actually today, like last week when we had the Chateau Pillerins from Pomerol, we have another surprise for you, and what a surprise it is. So again, when Kyle and I were at Wine Paris, sifting through all the wines, all of the good, the bad, the ugly, and everything else in between, we stumbled upon this gem that we're offering today. So, like last week's offer, being in Pomerol, pretty much the high-rent district of the right bank, now we are moving to the left bank, and this is Saint-Julien, which is the smallest appellation in the left bank, home to more classified growths than any other appellation. Someone's going to probably correct me on that one, but I mean, like most of the chateaus there or estates in Saint-Julien are classified, whether it's a second growth, third, fourth, fifth, no first growths, by the way. But today we have a wine from Saint-Julien, and what makes this wine even more cooler is it's a small estate, really unknown. I've never heard of it prior to our trip to Wine Paris. And this estate sits next to Léoville Las Cases and Léoville Poyferré. And then it's on the border of Pauillac, which is on the border with Pichon-Baron. So it's surrounded by classified second growths, okay? And these wines, as you well know, well over $100 a bottle for each of the three wines I just mentioned, some even over $200 a bottle. And what makes it even more cooler is this is the 2018 vintage, and the 2018 Léoville Poyferré was 100 points. The Léoville Las Cases was 100 points, and the Pichon-Baron received 100 points. So it's surrounded by 100-point wines, classified growths in Saint-Julien. Well, in Pauillac for the Pichon-Baron. So we're talking about Moulin de la Bridane. Again, small property, Pauillac's pretty flat, but it's on the top of the hill, overlooking the Gironde estuary and overlooking Léoville Las Cases as well as Léoville Poyferré. The blend here is 50% Cabernet Sauvignon, 40% Merlot, and 10% Petit Verdot, more on the lines of Léoville Poyferré. It is on that side of the D2, the highway that runs up, because Las Cases is on the riverside, Poyferré is on the land side, I guess if you call it the land side. 14 months in French oak, 50% new. Ooh, boy, it smells good. And this is run by the Santou family. It's been in the family since the 17th century. So now you have you have these vines and this family estate that has basically owned it for 300 years, right? Probably more than that, actually. And it's the envy of everybody in Saint-Julien, because anybody would take over that piece of dirt. Anybody, because basically where it's located, all the Léovilles would be more than happy to give them whatever they want for their acreage, and but that's not the case. They're holding steadfast. In fact, they just did a whole remodel in the cellars. So good on them. But a nice find that we had, and actually, no press because it's a small property. I mean, they make, I think they were saying like 2,000 cases total. Saint-Julien. I love Saint-Julien wines. I really do. I'm a big fan. Not just of you know, the Las Cases and Poyferré, they're very different. Las Cases is more kind of almost like a Pauillac in a way, whereas Poyferré is more like a Saint-Julien, at least in my opinion, when I taste the two. Not to mention the fact they have two different enologists have two different philosophies, you know, where Las Cases is a stern wine, a big wine, a wine that's, you know, you age for a long period of time, whereas Poyferré is a wine you can drink young, I guess, because you know, Michel Roland is a consultant there, and he likes to, I don't want to say, he's kind of backed off of the over extraction. It's just more about the fruit. And here I'm getting more of the Poyferré vibe of Saint-Julien, if I can kind of say that. Well, I think I could. Yeah. Currants, plums, cedar, little tobacco note, very fine tannins. The wine's gorgeous, just gorgeous. And when you're talking about wines, again, in the three-figure category, $24.98, 6-pack, wood, shippable. Get out of here. Just a fantastic wine. And as you notice, I think Kyle mentioned this in previous things, we're drinking out of our Fontaine glasses that we just received. These glasses are beautiful, and actually we kind of helped in the design when the proprietor came in and brought different prototypes, and we were able to, you know, kind of, this smells good of this smells good of this, and just find like a good universal glass. And these are wonderful. These are the ones I have here are the machine glasses, and we're going to sell them for like $24.98, I believe. And they're very limited, okay, because we bought everything we can get our hands on, because there's going to be a price hike coming in the near future. So wonderful glass. It's our new house glass. And I know I'm kind of going off on the glass, but the glass and the wine together, beautiful. Folks, pedigree. You know, terroir. That word is spoken so much, not just in Bordeaux, all over France. You know, we don't have a word for it here in the United States or in England, for that matter, because English doesn't have a word for terroir. But, you know, terroir is the dirt, is the place, you know, and that is the most important part of when you're making world-class wine. And you can grow grapes anywhere. I grow them out here. Yeah. Not world-class, but they look good. I'm working very hard this year, like I said on my last video. But that being said, world-class grapes come from world-class terroir, and this is world-class terroir at its finest, and at a price that you can't touch Saint-Julien for 25 bucks. You really can't. You know, Glory is probably 35, 38, you know, not a classified growth, but a fantastic wine as well. And seriously, I'm going to pour a little more, because this is really good. But for 25 bucks, wood 6-packs, 2018 vintage, great vintage, surrounded by 100-point wines, you know what to do. This is a no-brainer.